is being held via Zoom conference call due to the COVID-19 crisis. Members of the public may participate by following the instructions listed on the agenda. You may also view and listen to the meeting on live stream cable TV, Granicus, and YouTube. If you would like to provide public comment, you have two methods to identify to provide public comment. All members of the public will remain on mute until the individual identifies they would like to speak and you are unmuted. Following roll call during the summary of hearing procedures, we will review how the public may provide comment during today's session. I will now do roll call. Commissioner Caballero is here. Commissioner Bonilla.
Here.
Commissioner Casey.
Here.
Commissioner Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Lardinois. Commissioner Oliverio. Commissioner Torrens.
Here.
Okay. Summary of hearing procedures. The procedure for this hearing is as follows. After the staff report, applicants and appellants may make a 5-minute presentation. City staff will call out the names of the public who identified the items they want to speak on. You may identify yourself by the raised hand feature on Zoom, click *9 on your phone, or you may call 408-535-3505 or email planningsupportstaff@sanjoseca.gov and identify your name, phone number, and what items you would like to speak on. As your name is called, city staff will unmute you to speak. After we confirm your audio is working, time will begin. Each speaker will have 2 minutes. Speakers using a transcript will have 4 minutes. After the public testimony, the applicant and the appellant may make closing remarks for an additional 5 minutes. Planning commissioners may ask questions of the speaker. Response to commissioner questions will not reduce the speaker's time allowance. Staff will unmute the speaker to respond to the commissioner. The public will then be closed and the Planning Commission will take action on the item. The Planning Commission may request staff to testimony, ask staff questions, and discuss the item. If you challenge decisions in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at this public hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to the public hearing. The Planning Commission's actions on rezonings, pre-zonings, general plan amendments, and code amendments is only advisory to the City Council. The City Council will hold public hearings on these items. Section 20.120.400 of the Municipal Code provides the procedures for legal protests to the City Council on rezonings and pre-zonings. The Planning Commission's action on conditional use permits is appealable to the City Council in accordance with Section 20.100.220 of the Municipal Code. And with that, I call this meeting to order and ask staff if we have any public speakers for public comments for items that are not on the current Planning Commission agenda.
No, we did not.
Okay. So seeing no hands raised and no pre-information related to public comment, we'll move to item number 3, which is deferrals and removals from the calendars, and there are no items under this agenda. So we'll move to item number 4, which is the consent calendar. Staff, are there any public speakers on items currently on the consent calendar who have requested to speak?
Hi, yes, we actually do have one for item 4B.
Okay. So we'll hold on that just for a second. Commissioners, are there any items you would like to remove from the consent calendar? You can raise your hand.
There's also speakers for 4D and 4E.
Okay. Okay, so we will be taking items then for item 4B, item 4D, and item 4E off the consent calendar and moving them to the public hearing so that we can take public comments from the community. That leaves items 4A and 4C on the consent calendar.
Motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar.
And I believe that's Commissioner Oliverio.
Yes.
Great. Do we have a second?
Second.
That's Vice Chair Bonilla. Okay. Do we have would either of the makers of the motion like to speak to their motion?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Great. Would anyone else on the commission like to speak to either to the motion? Seeing no hands and no one waving at me from their cameras, we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. So Vice Chair Bonilla,
Aye.
Commissioner Casey,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Lardinois
Sorry. Aye.
is present. Great. Commissioner Oliverio,
Aye.
Commissioner Torrens,
Aye.
and Chair Caballero is also an aye. That item passes unanimously, and that's 5A and 5C. I'm sorry, 4A and 4C. So with that, we will move to item 4B, which is a conditional use permit CP 18-001. And do we have a staff presentation?
Yes, hello. Good evening, Chair Ballard and Commissioners. My name is Rhonda Buss, and I am the planner with Planning, Building, and Code Enforcement for this project. File number CP 18011 is for a conditional use permit to allow the demolition of an existing approximately 2,100 square foot pump canopy and associated fueling station equipment, the removal of 11 ordinance-sized trees and 3 ordinance-sized trees, and the construction of a new approximately 1,800 square foot fueling canopy and an 817 square foot addition to the existing 2,239 square foot building for a total of approximately 3,056 square feet for a retail store with 24-hour use, fueling station, a patio with a seating area, site improvements and discontinuation of the non-conforming auto repair use on an approximately 0.47 gross acre site. Currently, the site consists of an existing auto repair shop and retail store, all contained in a 2,239 square foot building, along with 4 fueling pump canopies, 4 fueling pump islands and canopies. Under the current code, the auto repair use is not a permitted use in the CP Commercial Pedestrian Zoning District. So the existing auto repair use is a legal non-conforming use. The project site is bounded by a fueling station to the north and commercial uses to the south, east, and west. The nearest residential use is approximately 182 feet across Cottle Road. The subject site has an envisioned San Jose 2040 general plan designation of neighborhood community commercial and is located within the Santa Teresa Boulevard, Cottle Road urban village boundary. This designation supports a broad range of commercial activity, including commercial uses that serve the communities in neighboring areas, such as neighborhood serving retail and services. Neighborhood community commercial uses should be designated to promote connection with an appropriate urban form that supports walking, transit use, and public interaction. Consistent with this designation, the project is for the remodeling of an existing fueling station and retail store. The commercial uses provide a service to the local neighborhood, and the site is located approximately 80 feet from the nearest bus station and approximately 1,650 feet to Cottle Road to Cottle Light Rail Station. The subject site is located within the CP Commercial Pedestrian Zoning District, and fuel service use is a is a conditional use in the CP Commercial Pedestrian Zoning District. This project has been reviewed by staff for conformance with the general plan goals and policies, zoning code requirements, and commercial design guidelines. Comments were received from a member of the public regarding noise, traffic, and commercial use. Pursuant to Municipal Code 20.40.600, commercial uses adjacent to a property used for commercial purposes must not exceed a maximum of 60 decibels at the property line. The projected noise would be 58.5 decibels at the sensitive receptors, which are residences located southwest of the site. Additionally, noise from the mechanical equipment on the site would be conditioned to be consistent with the zoning ordinance performance standards. A local transportation analysis was performed, and the city's traffic team indicated that with the inclusion of project conditions, the subject project will be in conformance with the City of San Jose Transportation Analysis Policy 5-1, and a determination for a negative declaration can be made with respect to traffic impacts. On September 13, 1967, file number H67-183 was approved for service station and auto repair use on the subject site. So the gas station has been approved at that site for well over 50 years. Additionally, the legal non-conforming auto repair shop use is proposed to be eliminated. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution adopting the 6211 Santa Teresa Boulevard fueling station project mitigated negative deck and associated mitigation monitoring and reporting program, for which an initial study was prepared in accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act as amended, and adopt a resolution approving, subject to conditions, a conditional use permit to allow the demolition of an existing approximately 2,100 square foot canopy and associated fueling station equipment. The removal of 11 ordinance-sized trees and 3 non-ordinance-sized trees, and the construction of an approximately 1,800 square foot fueling canopy and an 817 square foot addition to the existing 2,239 square foot building for a total of approximately 3,056 square foot retail store with 24-hour use fueling station, a patio with seating area, site improvements, and discontinuation of the non-conforming auto repair use on the approximately 0.47 gross acre site, and direct staff to file a notice of determination pursuant to section 15094 of the state CEQA guidelines. This concludes staff's presentation.
Is the applicant with us?
Hi, Vince, you are unmuted.
Thank you so much. My name is Vince Rivera with VER. Just wanted to thank staff for working with us on this project, and want to let you know that we're very excited about remodeling and improving the site for the betterment and following through on basically the agreement that we have with staff and the site plan that we did. So I wanted to thank staff, wanted to make ourselves available for anything, any questions that any one of our neighbors may have, and were intent. We did meet with several of our neighbors. One of our neighbors also invited me over to their home. I went to look at their home, and we tried to see if there's any way that we could work with them, independent of what we're doing on this project or independent of what we're doing for this property. And we're looking forward to being a neighbor here and moving forward. So once again, thank you all for helping us achieve this. It's been a long ride. We've been here. This application was filed in 2018, and we're excited to be here. So thank you all.
Commissioners, does anyone have any questions for the applicant? Oh, Vice Chair Bonilla, I see your hand up. Please go ahead.
You are muted, Vice Chair.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Of course, you.
Can't wait. Honestly, I can't wait to get back in the chambers, meet my colleagues, get to see everyone again. So, on that note, this question is for Vera. Vera, I know that sometimes before we make a motion, there may have been changes that we may not have been aware of that get made, and the changes get noticed when we make the motion. Is everything still as is in terms of this recommendation?
I think you would need to ask the planning department that. As far as what the report sounds like is that there are no changes. Also remember that you need to still take public comment on this.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, having said that, Mr. Rivero, can you tell me a little bit more about your community input process that you discussed?
Well, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Yes, I'd be happy to. So not only did we visit the site, and again, it's Vince Rivero. I'm at 1154 Park Avenue. Wanted to elaborate and answer the question in terms of what our public input process was. Not only did we visit the site and walk around and make ourselves generally available, I believe there was also noticing, and there was also several meetings between myself personally and the neighbors. There was one with I believe the neighboring property to this northwest of the property, and then another meeting with another neighbor to the southeast of us. So we walked the site, we made ourselves generally available. We spread, kind of did a little bit of a door-to-door. We did common public outreach as well in terms of being able to have the team, the architecture, tape development, Carly and Crystal Justice from our team. Also talked to some of the neighbors of the neighborhood, but it was nothing professional. It was mainly informal, mainly as a respondent and active neighbor who happens to be on site that wants to come in and better our own neighborhood for our own good. That's all it was.
Well, thank you for that, Mr. Rivera. If I recall from our time working together at City Hall when I was a staffer, you've always been very thorough and detailed when it comes to community outreach. So I appreciate you taking the time to respond to the question.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair.
I yield my time. Thank you.
Commissioners, are there any other commissioners with questions for the applicant? I'm not seeing any, so at this time, staff, if we want to open it up to public comment, we can do so.
Commissioner Turin had a question, I believe.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't see her on the screen. So Commissioner Torrens, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you very much. I couldn't find the raise hand button, so I
no problem.
Mr. Rivero, this is exciting. I do have one question, and that is, I know you're building a 7-Eleven on this site, and so can you just speak to the safety record of 7-Elevens? I know that there is a 7-Eleven on Monterey at Edenvale area that has had some difficulty. So can you just speak to the safety record overall of 7-Elevens? And that is my question.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Yes, and I will start, but I will also be handing a little bit of this answer to the question to Crystal Justice, who also happens to be here with us, I believe. But initially, what I want to say is 7-Eleven has been working hard to better the security and the safety record that we have. We're working closer and a lot better with the San Jose Police Department. We have, for example, on the downtown property, have contracted and worked with security to help with the security concerns of the neighborhood. We provide lighting that historically we hadn't done in the past. We're learning as we go along, but Crystal can elaborate more on what we do with the security from the operational day to day. And so, Crystal, if you would be so kind as to go ahead and take over my time, that'd be great.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Crystal Justice. I am with 7-Eleven Corporate. And Vince has hit the nail on the button there. We've done a lot of things over the past 5 years really to improve our security, not just within our store, but also within the community. So on site, we have a state-of-the-art camera system that has cameras on the exterior of the property, on the parking lot, as well as the gas area. We also have cameras on the interior with a 360 view camera that can see our entire sales floor. It can zoom in and out, and all of that data is stored in the cloud. In addition to that, what we've been doing in a lot of neighborhoods is we will join various different community organizations. So typically, I know a lot of communities are starting PBIDs or kind of having a neighborhood security. And as we look for our franchisees and owners of the stores, we look for people that are going to live in the neighborhood that are members of the community and are invested in that. So they do join that PBID process, or will look for their own kind of security. A lot of security guards can have roaming security as needed. So those are things that we'll look for in areas that warrant that type of activity.
Okay. Thank you very much. I yield the floor.
I have a question for the applicants. In your application, it says that this will be a 24-hour facility. What are the current operating hours of the fueling station that's there now?
I am actually not certain. I believe it is. I know the gas is 24 hours. I am not sure if the store is open 24 hours. Let me see if anybody on our team knows that answer.
Thank you.
Yes, it does appear that it is 24 hours.
So the existing store is a 24-hour operation already?
Yeah, the store is 24 hours. The car detail, I would presume, is not, though, the auto shop portion of it.
That makes sense. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Do we have any other questions from commissioners? You can either raise your hand or you can wave on the screen. I'm not seeing any at this time, so we'll go ahead and move to staff for public comment.
Okay, we have Norman. I'm sorry, I missed his. Okay, Norman, you are unmuted. Please unmute yourself and begin to speak.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm with my mother-in-law and my wife, and we have concerns. 7-Eleven is a great company, and I appreciate it.
Norman, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Really? How could you not hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What, did you hear anything I said?
No.
Okay. I'm with here with my mother-in-law, and we're having a different interpretation of what 7-Eleven is doing. Basically, I would ask that during this pandemic and lack of participation in the review from the general public, I would hope that maybe we could put this decision off on the environmental approval or any other approvals until we can have response from the neighborhood, because I didn't run into Vince. He didn't reach out to me. I reached out to him. Basically, what he said to me, if I show up at this meeting tonight, they'll pay to have my fence done. I mean, if I don't show up, if I do, the point is that I want to do this right. We have an opportunity to view this situation where everybody can win. If we just deal with the noise and the traffic and the loss of value in people's homes, I think we'll be fine. Thank you. Do you want to speak, Mom? She's kicking down. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any other public speakers on this item?
And no, we do not.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And commissioners, if you could just remember to identify yourselves for our folks who are acting as secretary today, because they may not be able to see all of your faces at the same time.
Olivero motioned, Bonilla second.
Great.
Hold on for a second. Can I just speak here for a second?
No, I'm sorry, Norman, your time is up. Thank you very much. We have a motion to approve the staff recommendation on the table. Do we have, would either of the motion maker or the seconder like to speak to their motion?
Commissioner Olivero, did you want to?
I would just
discuss
quickly say that these are fairly common uses in the city, and that we approve by the land use and not by the brand. And I just support the staff's recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I
Commissioner Bonilla?
would agree with Commissioner Olivero's position, and equally the idea, the connotation that a 7-Eleven will lower property value. It candidly doesn't really sit well with me. But to the bigger point that Commissioner Olivero made, we approve on the designation, not the brand.
Do any of the other commissioners, would any of the other commissioners like to speak on the motion? I'm seeing no one. I would just like a point of clarification on this item from staff. Does this item go before the city council, and if so, on what date? Rhonda or Robert?
Vera can answer. This is a conditional use permit, and all of the other permits are subordinate, so they're all rolled into the conditional use permit. Planning Commission is the final decision maker unless appealed to council.
That's right.
Okay, great. So with that, I will call the question and take a roll call vote. Sorry, 1 second. Trying to find my roll call. Vice Chair Bonilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Casey.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Lardinois.
Aye.
Commissioner Oliverio. Commissioner Torrens.
Aye.
And Chair Caballero is also an aye. This item passes. Thank you. With that, we'll move to item 4D, I believe,
Correct.
which is a rezoning item. And Project Manager Michelle Flores, are you available to make a staff presentation?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Ms. Chair and Commissioners. Michelle Flores, Planning Project Manager. The project being presented this evening is a plan development zoning from the R1A Single Family Residence Zoning District to the RMPD Plan Development Zoning District to allow up to 4 single family residences, and a plan development permit to allow, subject to conditions, the partial demolition of an existing single family residence and the removal of 3 ordinance-sized trees for the construction of 4 multifamily units on an approximately 0.28 gross acre site. The existing single-family residence would be relocated to the northeast corner of the property to accommodate the construction of 3 new residential units for a total of 4 residential units on site. All 4 units would be 2 stories high. The project includes the removal of a shed and an existing 1-car garage to allow a 491 square foot expansion to the rear of the existing single-family residence. The project site has a land use designation of residential neighborhood, which allows for a density of typically 8 dwelling units per acre, or matching the existing neighborhood character, up to 16 dwelling units per acre. The surrounding neighborhood has an average density of 24 dwelling units per acre. The project site would have a density of approximately 14.28 dwelling units per acre. The project would have 9 parking spaces for the project, including a 1-car garage and 3 2-car garages. 2 open spaces would also be provided. The 4 units would provide at least 400 square feet of private open space, and the 4 units would provide 650 square feet of common open space. The project was found to be in conformance with the general development plan and the residential neighborhood land use designation. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission recommend to City Council to approve the exemption in accordance with CEQA and approve an ordinance of the City of San Jose rezoning of certain real property located at the south side of Race Avenue, approximately 280 feet easterly of Newport Avenue at 1168 Race Avenue, from the R18 Single Family Residence Zoning District to the RMPD Plan Development Zoning District, to allow up to 4 single-family attached residences on an approximately 0.28 gross acre site, and to adopt a resolution approving, subject to conditions, the partial demolition of an existing single-family residence and the removal of 3 ordinance-sized trees for the construction of 4 multifamily units. This concludes staff's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here to make a presentation as well?
Hi, Henry, you are unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening, Chair, Ms. Chair and not council member, commissioner. This is Henry Xiao. I'm the architect. Originally, we didn't plan to speak, but just a couple of minutes ago, Michelle sent out the email saying that we need to speak. So, just in short, we felt this project that we present to you tonight is the best development for the property. This will bring the best value of the property to the neighborhood. And just looking at the adjacent neighboring property, they are comparable use for the multifamily development. As Michelle just mentioned, that the existing neighbor density is almost 24 units per acre, and we are requesting only for 14 units per acre. So throughout almost 2 years period, we worked desperately with the city staff to come to this point. And we went through density exercise, went through historical review exercise, just to bring this point to your attention. The historical aspect, this existing building is built 1908 and is not in the city or state inventory register for the historical building, but it did, according to the survey, it did have this historical value. So we work with the staff and city to try to preserve this building. That's why we keep this 1-story element in the front, which will very compromise to the existing fabric of the neighbor, especially the building in front of the property. And that is the craftsmanship caricature throughout the Greenwood, Willow Grand neighborhood. So in the design, we spend effort on trying to make it a good design as well to harmonize with the neighbor fabric. And also we work with the fire department and the arborist to make the best proposal for the project as well. And in short, we felt very confident that this project will enhance and benefit the existing neighborhood very well. So we're here to ask you to approve the project. That concludes my brief presentation.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I'm here and with the owner, Derek, here as well to answer any question that you may have.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any questions of the applicant from the commissioners? Well, I have a question for the applicants. You mentioned that you would be reducing density for what is already zoned. Can you discuss a little bit about why you've made that decision to do that?
Originally, because the code allowed to build 18 units per acre for this zone area, and we have the limit on the height, and also this this historical building, we need to keep this. So this really limits our ability to develop to the max. That's why we try to kind of compromise and then make it more comparable scale and massing for the neighborhood. And owner is allowed to, they are agreed to do that as well. That's what I meant. We didn't max out the potential while we try to make adjustment and make harmonize with the existing design challenge.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions of the applicant from the commissioners? Okay. We will go ahead and go to any public comment.
Okay, our first public comment is Renee. Renee, you are unmuted. Please unmute yourself and begin to speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my name is Renee Chen. I have the property on the back side of 1168 Brace. One of the reasons why I bought this property not too long ago, about 5 years ago, is because first thing I noticed was that there were trees on the other side of my back fence. But I also really appreciated that it was provided safety and security to the extent that it's unlikely that somebody would want to jump the fence after getting through a single family home yard. It serves as a buffer for noise. The trees provide privacy. And if 4 homes are being built on the other side, I'm rather afraid that that privacy will be gone. And just to mention that it's aesthetically pleasing to be able to look out over my backyard fence and see some trees. So I want to know what the developers are planning to do with the backside of the property, how you're going to provide and make sure that it stays a safe environment for neighbors. The townhouse next to me also is on the back side of this, so there's 2 homes that would be affected by this.
Mark?
And and how will you build in privacy for the neighbors on the backside? So there's 4 areas: noise, safety and security, privacy, and aesthetics.
Okay, thank you, Renee. That concludes our speakers for this item.
Okay, we can bring the applicant back up to respond.
Henry, you are unmuted. If you could unmute yourself.
Mute. Okay. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Ms. Chen. I think the project, I don't know if you got a chance to look at the design, and as a designer and an architect, we feel very comfortable that this design will kind of beautify the environment and bring this a step forward for the neighborhood in terms of the livable neighborhood. And we at this time there are four units, which means that will be 4 family live in this property, and they might have younger children and so on. So in the back, I don't know if your property is right in the back of our property, that we have a kind of small community park, and that is very well lit and very secure area for neighbor. They can kind of have a small recreational use in that area, especially that area also serve for the firefighting purpose to the back, and that might also benefit to your property as well in the long run. And in terms of the security, I mean, this is also a self-police community, and we haven't developed the community management kind of program yet, but eventually this will be very secure and guarded community. Hopefully that will answer your security question. No, not allow people to go through this neighborhood, except the residents in the property, on the property. And for the privacy screening, we keep the existing tree in the back, and we actually planted another 3 24-inch buck tree in the back as well for the shading to the park and also for the privacy screening purpose as well. So I hope you can support this project, and we definitely will, make our best effort to make this a good development for all and for year to come as well. That's my comment.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, do we have any follow-up questions for the applicant? I'm not seeing any. So at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing. Do we have any additional questions for staff?
Question?
I do.
Yes, Commissioner Oliverio.
Thank you, Chair. Staff, from the staff report, I don't see any exceptions being made at the rear setback. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So with that said, there is no exceptions being requested on the rear setback. Across the street from this is another development that was built 20 years ago, which was the townhouse style structures. Adjacent on each side are apartments, and in the rear, where the person spoke from the public, was another infill development of townhouses. So this isn't converting a single-family home on a street of single-family homes. This is simply modifying to what's in the existing area. As the chair pointed out, this could have been denser as well, not as many applications could be, but in the end, if it fits within the cap, then that's what has been provided to us. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the staff recommendation.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Casey.
Correct.
Okay, great. So we have a
Ariel, can I ask a question real quick regarding the resolution that we would be considering approving to staff?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So just to clarify, I mean, this sounds like it changed over time. So the resolution that we would be considering would be of the demolition of, or I should say the removal of 3 trees, right? Not 5. And then the construction of a 4-unit single-family building.
Yes, so it would be 3 ordinance-sized trees for a total of 4 units on the project site, which includes the existing single-family residence that would be relocated to accommodate the 3 new units.
Right, okay. But it sounds like at one point maybe they were considering doing multiple multifamilies, right? So it could have been 18 units at one point, but it's really one multifamily that is going to be 4 units.
One building, they're all units are attached with 4 units.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, do we have any other questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, would the maker of the motion like to speak to his motion or the seconder?
No, thank you, Chair.
Well, thank you, Chair.
Okay, so we will call the question and take a roll call vote. Vice Chair Bonilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Casey.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Lardinois.
Aye.
Commissioner Oliverio.
Aye.
Commissioner Torrance.
Aye.
And Chair Caballero is also an aye. So this item passes. And we'll move on to item 4E, PP 20-008, which is an uncodified ordinance of the City of San Jose. And I believe we have Aparna staff here to give us a presentation.
Thank you, Chair. Aparna Ankola from the Policy and Ordinance Team, Planning Department. The item before you this evening is an uncodified ordinance change extending the term of certain land use permits and tree removal permits because of the impacts of COVID-19. This ordinance is going to be adopted as an uncodified ordinance because it is temporary in effect and it is specifically made in response to the emergency declaration. The proposed ordinance would extend terms of specific permits that were approved prior to March 17, 2020, and that did not expire on or before March 17, 2020, and the effective date of this ordinance. So the window of this ordinance is between March and the effective date, which is around September this year. So any development permits that are approved after March 17 this year are not subject to this extension. Staff would like to clarify that the proposed ordinance will not address tentative map approvals that are subject to state law extensions. To address the increasing concerns from development community, the permit approvals are proposed to be extended by 2 years and the standalone tree removal permits by 8 months to match existing standard terms. Staff received 2 comments from the Building Industry Association and the Preservation Action Council. Staff would like to clarify that the window again is very limited between March and September, and no other permits will be extended through this ordinance. More recently, state bills addressed permit extensions, including SB 281 for housing entitlements. In continuation of these efforts, the proposed ordinance would assist developments immediately impacted by COVID-19. The City Council hearing for this item is scheduled on August 11, 2020. This concludes staff presentation and staff is available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any commissioner questions on this item?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Oliveira. We have to do public comment first. But seeing no questions from the commissioners, I did just want to make sure that I heard you correctly, that there are no existing permits that would be extended as part of this action.
So this ordinance would only address permits that have expired between March and September. So any permits that would be approved after March this year would have specific permit conditions that would determine the duration of those permits. So we just wanted to be very clear that this concession or this extension is only for a specific window to help with the COVID-19.
Yeah, so March 2020 through September 2020.
This
I
is
see
Martina
Martina trying
Davis,
to jump in.
Supervising planner. Yeah, let me clarify. So no, it does extend existing permits. So it reactivates permits that may have expired after the shelter in place started. Specifically, we had, we shut down for a few weeks while we figured out that, how to move our entire operations online. So we wanted to make sure that permits that would have expired during that period that weren't able to get an extension were reactivated. It does, though, also extend all permits that were previously issued that were still valid as of March 17th. So if you had a permit that was issued in, say, 2019, it would have been issued with a 2-year initial permit term, so it would have expired in 2021. This permit or this extension would automatically extend it so that it expires in 2023. And then just while I'm talking, one other thing I'd like to clarify is SB 281 is a pending bill. It has not been adopted yet, but we wanted to note that we're kind of not alone. The legislator is actually working on a parallel effort to extend all housing land use entitlements by 2 years, and they did clarify that it's not on top of local extensions. So even if this did not get approved and that did get approved, it would actually do the same thing. They are more specific to housing entitlements, but we went a little bit more broad.
Great. Thank you so much, Martina, and thank you, Aparna. Can we, staff, do we have any public comments on this item?
Yes, we have Mike from PAC SJ. Mike, you are unmuted. Please begin to speak.
We strongly recommend that the Planning Commission not accept staff's recommendation to automatically extend land use development permits by 2 years from the current expiration, and challenge staff's assertion that this decision is exempt from CEQA guidelines, which state that with certainty that there is no possibility that the proposal may have a significant effect on the environment. Far too many projects that have been approved by the city for development over the past 24 months acknowledge the loss of and/or damage to San Jose's historic fabric. Statements of overriding consideration have been made to justify that loss. The city has consistently stated that the projects should be approved because they contribute to meeting the city's goals as noted in the Envision 2040 general plan, and they should not be delayed. And yet, staff is now asking the city to blindly authorize massive delays in projects without even using the powers of the director to approve permit adjustments that total also up to 2 years. Staff does not cite any specific examples of developers requesting this carte blanche extension of permits. Staff has not justified why all project permits should be granted automatic extensions without acknowledging specific and general changed circumstances. It is reasonable to assume an impact of a global pandemic on projects. Yes. Should we work with developers to extend projects if the pandemic affects their ability to go forward? Also, yes. Should we give everyone a 4-year pass on explaining why? No. If a developer has lost their tenant or financing or their design does not reflect new market requirements, do we want to delay for 6 years a discussion of why? Perhaps other projects could go forward instead, or our historic buildings could be retained and activated. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any?
Sorry, no, that concludes our speakers for this item.
Thank you, Danielle. So do we have any other questions from, actually, I'm going to close the public hearing and then ask if we have any other questions from commissioners. Not seeing any. We have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Oliverio to accept the staff recommendation. Do we have a second? We have a second. Thank you, Commissioner Torrance. We have a second. Would either the maker of the motion or the seconder like to speak to their motion?
Just simply that it's nice to hear from the staff that the state legislature is considering the same thing that the city is doing. So thank you very much.
Okay. Do we have any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote. Vice Chair Bonilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Casey.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Lardinois.
Aye.
Commissioner Oliverio.
Aye.
Commissioner Torrance.
Aye.
And Chair Caballero is also an aye. And with that, we'll move to item 5A, which is a conditional use permit. And we have a staff do we have a staff presentation from Angela Wang?
Yes, let me share my screen first. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. My name is Angela Wang. I'm the planner for the project from PBCE. Before the Planning Commission this evening is a conditional use permit to allow the demolition of 4 existing commercial buildings on site and the removal of 2 ordinance-sized trees and 4 non-ordinance-sized trees for the construction of a 1 to 3 story 83 unit state licensed residential care facility for the elderly with approximately 72,380 square feet of above grade floor area and approximately 30,240 square feet of basement containing some activity rooms, staff room, utility rooms, parking, circulation on an approximately 1.23 gross acre site. The project site is located on the west side of South Baskin Avenue, approximately 177 feet southerly of Dry Creek Road. The site is bounded by commercial use and single-family residential to the north and single-family residential to the west, multi-family residential to and commercial to the south, and commercial use to the east across South Baskin Avenue. The project is consistent with the neighborhood community commercial land use designation and conforms with zoning code development standards. The project is also in compliance with commercial design guidelines in that the proposed building steps down from 3 stories to 1 story for a single family residential to the north and to the west of the site. And it includes landscape buffers with trees along the property line to reduce the visual impacts to the adjacent single-family residents. The project is also consistent with the general plan community design policies to enhance and promote pedestrian activities along South Baskin Avenue by widening the existing 10-foot sidewalk to 15 feet, locating parking with circulation and pickup drop-off loading activities within the basement level, and placing the active uses of the facility along the street frontage. A community meeting was held in October 2019, and also during the project review process, staff had several meetings with some community members to discuss their concerns. Concerns are mainly about setback, height, traffic, fire access, noise, and privacy. The project has been revised to reduce the scale and provide building setbacks and include landscape buffers to address those concerns. The project completed an initial study and mitigated negative declaration and was circulated for public comments from May 1st, 2020 to May 21st, 2020.
Is anyone else no longer hearing Angela? Okay, We seem to have lost Angela.
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can
Now
still
we
see her
can.
screen, but we cannot hear her.
I can hear her now.
I can hear her.
I can hear her, but Angela, you were coming in and out badly before.
Vera, we can't hear you either.
Can you check your microphone, Angela?
A lot of static.
Okay, I'm going to be closer to my laptop. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me continue. So after the public circulation period,
Robert, should we move to the applicant and then see if we can get Angela back?
Yes, we can
Robert or
try
Vera?
that. At least we know
Okay.
what the recommendations
I
are.
suddenly seem to have lost everyone.
Let me try your headset. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I
Angela,
can.
you're going on and off. Vera, can I read the recommendations to the commission and then we see if Angela can adjust her microphone?
Sure, maybe that she just wants to call in and not use her,
Okay.
yeah.
Angela, do you want to call in instead with your phone?
Okay, all right.
Chair Caballero, to your point, in the interim, can we have the applicant do their portion of the presentation?
I think the chair is having some difficulties too.
Oh yeah, you know what? She says she's lost everyone. So I am going to be the chairman for the next couple of minutes.
She joined back again.
Oh, she's back on? Okay.
Yeah, I just saw it on the screen.
Like I said, I can't wait to get back to real life.
I'm back. I apologize. Maybe I was the only one who couldn't hear Angela.
I think it was the northern lights behind you messing this up.
Okay. Well, it looks like everybody else was able to hear Angela, perhaps.
Chair Caballero, as a recap, Angela will be calling in.
Okay.
To your earlier point, my question was, can we have the applicant do their portion of the presentation while we're waiting for Angela to call in, just to kind of move this along?
Yes, and that's what I was trying to say when you couldn't hear me either, was could we have the applicant go ahead and start. So staff, can we unmute the applicant and maybe give them their 5 minutes now, and we can bring Angela back when she's called back in.
Sure. Paul, you are unmuted. Please unmute yourself and begin to speak.
Hi, good evening, members of the Planning Commission. This is Paul Bunton. I'm a partner with Advocacy Development Partners and pleased to bring this project before you tonight. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Great. I have a presentation that Angela was going to allow me to show with you. I'm not sure if anyone else is able to allow that to happen so I can share my screen.
Okay, I just promoted you to panelist. You should be able to share your screen in a few seconds here. Okay, Paul, you should be able to share your screen now.
Paul, you're on mute.
All right, how's that?
Great.
Okay. So I'm assuming everybody can see my screen all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so thank you. So this is just a brief presentation that takes you through a little bit of the background of the project, a little bit of the background of our community involvement as we've evolved the design over a year's period of time and ended up with the solution that you're seeing tonight. So the site is, as Angela was beginning to say, is a partially commercial site. It's all commercial, surrounded by commercial on the north and south and east side, and surrounded by residential around it. But the site now is largely vacant due to COVID-19. But you can see in the image, it's a lot of old 1950s, 60s, 70s strip retail projects that consisted of massage parlor, tattoo parlors, and various other buildings that were kind of eclectic in architectural style. So it's definitely in need for a reuse as a site. And as architects and developers of senior housing projects in the state of California, we found it to be an interesting site, a challenge to us because of the mix of commercial around the site and residential in the back. So this site really involved a tremendous amount of energy to adapt it to the residential area behind it. And that's what Angela is beginning to show you, the terraces and the step downs that we did in the back. I'll show you some images in a minute, but primarily the entrances off of South Bascom. The building has been designed with an urban approach for pedestrian access off of South Bascom, underground parking right off of South Bascom, and access for our residents and visitors off the street itself, with drop-off and deliveries down below the street. A couple of quick images. The design of the project continued to adapt to the site, with the South Bascom design approaching more of an urban scale, and the back part of the site, as it integrated into the residential part of it, our neighbors behind stepped down into the 33-degree daylight plane, which I'll show you in a minute. Had a series of greenscape and green decks to basically visually separate our residents from our neighbors behind. So we started this process before we even submitted our application to the city of San Jose with community meetings. We reached out to our community, all the residents within 500 feet, in May of last year, to begin to understand the concerns of the neighborhood. And so the key things that we heard in our first meeting prior to submitting any application to the city were the exterior design. They wanted to make sure that it was more residential, less institutional, visual screening to the neighbors, setbacks to their homes, a conformance with a 33-degree daylight plane, the normal photometric studies to make sure we're sensitive to our neighbors, noise issues, traffic issues, and parking issues. Those are the key things that our neighbors were concerned about as we approached them with our initial thoughts on the design. Ultimately, we had 2 more meetings. Let me go back a second. We had our second meeting in August, and then we had our final meeting in October, which was our city-sponsored meeting. So we had 2 meetings to gather information and input from our neighbors prior to submission of our application. From the first meeting to the last meeting, we reduced our project from 130,000 square feet to 75,000 square feet, to significantly reduce the mass of the building from 3 stories, or 4 stories rather, to 3 stories, with 1 story in the back as it integrates into the residential properties. Our lot coverage went down. We implemented a full 33-degree daylight plane into the residential properties to give more privacy. We significantly redesigned the exterior expression to address the neighborhood's comments and have much more of a residential feel to the project. We increased our setbacks, and we added green roofs to the project. So just a quick slide to show progression. This is the first image that we shared with our neighbors, a 4-story, more of an urban approach to the site. The second presentation was a 3-story presentation, still more of an urban approach. And then our final presentation in October with the city staff sponsored meeting represented the solution that we're bringing to you tonight. Much more of a residential scale to the project. Very quick slide showing massing studies. This was our first presentation to our community, and the final presentation showing stepping down and integration into the residential part of our site. Daylight plane conformance, this red line shows you how we integrated our design into that. The minimum setback is over here. We exceeded our setbacks in order to give more separation to our residents behind us. And quickly, I'm just going to take you through a quick animation just to share with you the design holistically. So this is, yes.
Sorry, the 5-minute time limit is actually up.
Okay. Well, this completes my presentation. I'll just let this run in the background if the commissioners would like to ask questions about it.
Okay.
Great. Do we have any questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Torrance.
Yes, to our applicant. My question for you is about affordability. And so I'm wondering if any amount of the units in this will be available for low-income seniors. I tried to
No,
look through,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, so I was looking through the plan and the documentation we were given, and I couldn't find anything about that. So thank you.
Right. No, our model as developers is really on the high end of senior housing markets. And that's why we've selected San Jose. It's one of the best markets for senior housing in such demand right now. In fact, there's over 166 beds of assisted living that are in demand within a 3-mile radius of our site, and 155 beds of memory care in demand within a 3-mile radius. So that just indicates there's just such a high demand for our projects in San Jose, and we're just happy to bring it here. But our model is not incorporate affordable housing to it. Our model is market rate housing.
Okay, and then thank you. A follow-up question then to planning staff is, what are the rules around including affordable units within a project like this?
Yeah, so this is not considered to be a housing project. It's more of a commercial project. It's not defined as a housing unit. Most of them don't have kitchens. It's not considered by a housing project, so it's not subject to affordable requirements.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other questions from the commissioners? Thank you, Commissioner Torrance, for bringing up the affordability question. I think I had questions in a similar vein. I just wanted to thank the applicant for addressing the community's concerns. I think that the roof gardens and the landscaping is beautiful, and really appreciate the setbacks. Could you speak a little bit to why you weren't able to go to the full 4 stories, even if you sort of step down towards the residential? What was the thought process behind not being able to do the full 4 stories?
Well, the full 4-story was a massive project in that area. And we just felt like the scale of the project was too significant for that site, especially as deep as it goes into the residential area. So it would have required amendments by commission and council to the South Bascom Urban Village as well to get to that. So instead of getting ahead of that, which is about 10 years, as I understand it, down the road from being approved formally by council, we chose to integrate it into the neighborhood and conform to the current commercial design guidelines in its entirety. And that put us into the 33-degree daylight plane versus what some urban villages are seeing right now is up to 45-degree daylight planes, much more significant density in some of those urban villages.
Okay, thank you very much. Not seeing any other questions from the commissioners, we can move to public comment.
Okay, first comment we have is Ken. Ken, you are unmuted. Please unmute yourself and begin to speak.
Are we able to use the share screen? I'd asked that question of staff, but hello? Can anyone hear?
Yes, we can hear you. Staff?
No, I don't believe they can share screen.
Oh, okay.
That's just for the applicant.
All right. Well, planning commissioners, thank you very much for the time. I'm speaking on behalf of the Bascom Dry Creek Coalition, which we also said reference to our joint letter, the planning commission that we submitted July 21. So hopefully you've all had a chance to read this. In opposition to staff's recommendation to adopt the CUP, we believe that the fire variance approval, even with additional measures of fire protection like fire sprinklers, coverage, standpipes, etc., are really inadequate when you consider there's going to be 93 potential less mobile, memory impaired elderly residents, potentially needing assistance and rescue in the event of emergency. And there's a severe lack of firefighting equipment access to the rear of the property, even as the applicant mentioned, is a deep, deep lot over 300 feet, makes this a potentially dangerous situation. You can also think of maybe a ghost ship of not being able to get to the people and rescue them. Combine this with a lack of fire access road, right? The close proximity to these single family homes abutting the property makes this project's design highly suspect to be approved for this conditional use permit. We tasked the Planning Commission
15-second mark.
to delay the approval of this CUP and study staff's recommendation to approve and to protect future residents and adjoining neighboring homes. And the fire department's approval of the measures we believe are inadequate to protect these vulnerable people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have John. John, you are unmuted. Please unmute yourself and begin to speak.
Well, good evening, commissioners and staff. My name is John DiLoretto. I reside at 960 Dry Creek Road, adjacent to the property on the north edge. I've had the pleasure of working with the developer over the past year to address our concerns in a non-adversarial fashion, and indeed many of them have been more than accommodated. However, I still have a concern with respect to the setback at the north edge of the property with respect to the commercial design guidelines. According to the commercial design guidelines, larger setbacks should be used to minimize grade differentials with adjacent streets and with adjoining properties, especially when the adjacent downhill properties are residential. We have a 4-foot elevation difference between our property and this building merely 60 feet away. And the commercial design guidelines stipulate a minimum of 21 feet for a 14-foot structure. As it stands, the second story railing does not even in itself comply with the 33-degree plane, that being a 1.5 to 1 setback requirement. But we believe that a 25-foot setback, and we have communicated this over a period of time with both the developer and the planning department, and have not gotten any movement on it. And we don't see how the current plans accommodate the additional setback that would be warranted for the elevation differential from
15-second mark.
From our adjoining property on the north edge. And we request that the commission consider this as a step required for moving forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Garnetta. You are unmuted. Please unmute yourself and begin to speak.
Garnetta Annabelle, and I live on Dry Creek Road, and I share the concerns expressed a year ago directly to Paul and to the city regarding the fire issue and the 25-foot setback. We live in wood homes, have wood roofs, have beautiful trees that are enjoyed by the entire community. And I'm hoping that the commission has the power and authority to take a little closer look at the fire variance that was granted by the fire department as it specifically relates to the recognition that the code requires 20 foot for an aerial access fire, but because of a small easement that's close to Bascom Avenue, not necessarily close to the trees and homes that would be affected, granted a variance. So I would like you to continue this, to take a closer look at that and let us know how you as a body have the ability or maybe don't have the ability to not grant something just because the fire marshal granted a variance. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our speakers for this item.
Great. Let's bring the applicant back up for their 5 minutes closing remarks and response.
Thank you, Chair. Paul Bunton again, representing Advocacy Development Partners. Thank you again for reviewing our project tonight. We are very proud of our solution working with the community. And although there may not have been 100% concurrence on all items, we feel like we've exceeded our guidelines, our potential design request initially by significantly working with the community. So this project site would allow up to 120 feet of building height, 6-story building. We're at a 3-story building with exceeding the setbacks. So we did look at exceeding the setbacks even further, but we couldn't do that without reducing the amount of units in our building. That said, we've agreed to all the conditions put upon our project by planning staff. Happy to have worked with staff throughout this project. We're not asking for any exceptions to the project. We're conforming with all the design standards, zoning requirements, general plan requirements of the city of San Jose. And our fire department has reviewed the site extensively and has approved our access. So everything is conforming. Thank you very much.
Before we close the public hearing, do we have any questions of the applicant from the commissioners? Seeing none. Oh, sorry. Commissioner Torrance?
All right, so I'm back to my affordable question. So I understand this is a high-end project and it'll probably be very, very successful. But I still can't help but think of the poor grandmas and grandpas that need a great place like this. And I would ask the applicant to consider, even though you're not legally obligated to include that, but to include some of that. My feeling is to delay a vote on this. And I don't know if I have to do that now or if I have to wait and make a motion, but to give you some time to figure out a way to do that. And also to address the concerns with fire access and perhaps the setback. I know you've done a lot of work on this, a lot of due diligence, but that's what I want to put out there at this time.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. That not hearing any questions, more direction. And then do we have any questions for staff?
Chair?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Olvera. Staff, can you confirm again that the fire department has approved this development for their needs?
Yes, fire department has approved the variance application. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Thank you.
I would like to, do you want me to address the setback comments from the public?
Chair?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let me share the screen first.
Chair Caballero, I think Commissioner Olivero was trying to say something.
Okay, can you see the screen?
1 second, Angela. Go ahead, Commissioner Oliverio.
No, Chair, I'm deferring to staff if they want to answer comments from the public, but I'd be happy to speak after.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Go ahead, Angela.
Okay, so for the comments regarding the 25-foot setback at this corner, so currently the project proposed a 21-foot setback here. It's already larger than the zoning code requirement at 10 feet setback. So it's larger than the required setback already. And also, this is just a very small portion of the building, which is within the 25-foot setback. And this is a stairwell. And then there's no windows here. And then the applicant also proposed a green wall here. So there will not be any visual impacts to the adjacent property. Besides, there are large trees, I mean, the existing trees and also the proposed trees on site. So staff believe that the 25-foot setback is not necessary. Also, for the design guideline that John pointed out, this is the design guideline requires the larger setback to the residential property, which is at the downhill side. However, the project, this is the cross section of the project. So this is the proposed building, and this is the house at this location. So this is a very, very minor, I mean, not like a downhill situation like this. So we believe that this design guideline is not applicable to this project. So this is, and also this is a rendering from this corner. So this is the wall that I mentioned about with the green wall. This is a 21-foot setback. So that this is about the setback issue. And for the fire, yes, fire variance was approved in January 2020, and the fire department approved the application to allow the project not to include a full fire access around the project site, given that the project will provide standpipe systems, smoke ventilators, and the installation of a new fire hydrant at Dry Creek Road, and also the access through the existing easement. So these additional measures were determined by the fire department to provide adequate fire protection for the project. The compliance with the measures will be verified at the building plan check stage and during building inspection. So, and also the project resolution includes project conditions to require the project to meet the fire code requirement, the fire department's requirement prior to the issuance of the building permit. This concludes my response to the public comments.
Thank you. So at this time, do we have any additional questions of staff? Not seeing any. We do have someone whose hand is still up in the, or whose hand is up in the item, but we closed the public hearing on this, so hopefully that's for a different item. So we had Commissioner Torrens who had some comments. Did you want to make a motion related to what you discussed?
I guess I just like to know what my colleagues think about, at this point, asking the applicant to include some affordability into this project. Since I'm newer on the commission, I would love to hear the expertise of those of you who have been here a little bit longer. If you have anything to add.
Chair Caballero.
Yes.
Hi, Commissioner. Yeah, so I'd like to, I'll address the question for my fellow commissioner, but I'll first make a motion to approve the staff recommendation, and I'll explain why I'm making the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. So as we saw, this project developed over time and reduced both the number of units and the height. This type of housing is in sore need in San Jose for assisted living. And that is why assisted living is not included in the affordable housing policy of the city, because no one would build anything. So it's also a commercial business because it employs people. So for us to ask the applicant to do something that's not legally required, I don't believe is the right thing to do. We're not the policymakers. We just simply implement within the general plan, specific plans, CEQA, et cetera. And so that is the case in this situation. On Thornton Way, a few years ago, the city council approved another assisted living development adjacent to single family homes, which was taller than this with more units per acre. And the Planning Commission recently approved the development on the corner of Park and San Carlos at 7 stories in essentially a residential neighborhood bordered by commercial. So at the end of the day, I think this development meets the goals of the city, albeit it doesn't have the number of units the city wants to produce for assisted living. It's a step. And that's why I'm making the motion to approve the staff recommendation.
Thank you. So Commissioner Oliverio made the motion, and Vice Chair Bonilla made the second. Commissioner Bonilla, would you like to speak to your second?
No, I had initially raised my hand before Commissioner Olivero jumped in and was going to ask staff to walk us through why assisted living is not included in terms of what, the affordable housing requirement. But Commissioner Olivero went ahead and explained it quite thoroughly. But I agree. I think any opportunity we can find to create affordable housing in San Jose is the right thing to do. However, this is one of those situations too where we do have a need for assisted living, and to the earlier point, it's not legally mandated. But I think it's dead on that we need more affordable housing in this city, without a doubt.
Do we have any other discussion on this item? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and I would just like to echo Commissioner Bonilla's statements that while we would love for this to be affordable, we did just approve a property on, I believe, Santa Teresa that has quite a bit of affordability for seniors, which is wonderful. I myself would love to see affordability as part of every development that came forward, as it sounds like Commissioner Torrens would as well, and I'm sure is shared by other commissioners. But our role is to make recommendations to the City Council, and this project conforms with all of the guidelines. And so with that, we can go ahead and call the question and take a roll call vote. Vice Chair Bonilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Casey.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Lardinois.
Aye.
Commissioner Oliverio.
Aye.
Commissioner Torrens.
Aye.
And Chair Caballero is also an aye. This item passes. Thank you very much to everybody and to staff for the presentations. So I'm going to move on to item number 6, which is referrals from City Council, boards, commissions, or other agencies. And I see that there are no items. So I'll move on to item number 7, which is good and welfare. And I'd like to take these items together for a motion. So we'll start with the staff reports, and then if one of the commissioners would like to make a motion, I'd like to take them all together for the vote. So report from City Council. Is there a report?
There's none.
Okay, thank you. Review and approve action of minutes from 7/8. Are there any changes to the minutes or questions related to the minutes? I'm not seeing anyone raising their hand. So subcommittee formation reports and outstanding business. I don't believe we have any items related to that. Commission calendar and study session. So as we discussed earlier today, there will be a second study session for San Jose Citywide Design Standards and Guidelines on August 12th. And are there any items for the public record? No, not seeing any. So can we get a motion to accept items 7A through E?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Oliverio. Do we have a second?
Second.
I think that was Commissioner Bonilla.
No, it was not actually. It was Casey.
Oh, it was Commissioner Casey. Sorry, I apologize. I think you guys sound a little alike. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do we have any discussion on this item? Not seeing any. So we'll go ahead and take the roll call vote. So Vice Chair Bonilla.
Aye.
Commissioner Casey.
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Lardinois.
Aye.
Commissioner Oliverio.
Aye.
And Commissioner Torrens.
Aye.
And Chair Caballero is also an aye. And with that, our meeting is adjourned. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you very much.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.